What's going on, YouTube? Schmitty here, making a video. Today is Sunday, the 11th of August, 2019. This video is pretty much for my kids. So, a lot of these videos, my pickups, my kids, I'm just going to make them to where, how I got it, when I got it, where I got it type of deal, in case anything ever happens to me. Which I hope it doesn't, but you never know. They can always go back to this YouTube and use it as a reference. Dad talking to you from another place. So, got this last week, 2 weeks ago, at the Alameda Antique Fair, 2 weeks ago. The first Sunday of every month, me and Mom would go out there and, stroll around. It's basically a square mile of stuff for sale, as antiques and you name it, they have it out there. Food, and Mom likes going out there, grabbing a glass of wine and have a beer, and we just stroll around and looking for stuff. So came across a gentleman who had a bunch of baseballs. Mickey Mantle, he had Ted Williams, King Griffey Jr. I probably could have bought the whole lot for about $800 or $900 and then just flipped all the stuff, but I didn't want to do it, so I just grabbed the one ball that primarily interested me, and this is the 1989 World Series Oakland A's full team signed ball. He was asking $300 for it. I couldn't do the $300, so I offered him one price, and I offered him $150. I figured that was more than a fair offer. Zero paperwork, but if I stay primarily with my team. I know these autos are 100% legit, and if you go ahead and decide, or I do one day, add a PSA letter, which is just going to increase the value and help the resale of the ball. I will do that. But so here we go. So here's some of the names. Right there's Mark McGwire, Lance Blankenship, Kurt Young, Hall of Famer Dennis Eckersley, real faint, that's Terry Steinbach, the great Dave Henderson, who passed away a few years ago, the greatest of all time, Ricky Henderson, is on there. So you already have three big names right off the bat. Some of these other guys, I'm going to have to go back and really study the ball and different signatures. I believe that's Rod Hassey, Todd Burns, Mike Moore. I'm not sure who that JC signature is, but then you have Hall of Famer Tony La Russa, Billy Beane, who is the manager of the GM of the A's. Or is that Tony Phillips? You know what? I take that back. That's Tony Phillips right there. Tony Phillips, Dave Duncan, I believe that's Dave Stewart. And then moving down, you have Carney Lansford. Looks like Gene Nelson, Rick Honeycutt, Tom Reynolds, a coach. We'll go ahead and move the ball this way. That's Dave Parker right there. Jose Canseco, I believe that's Dave McKay. And he's traveled quite a bit with Tony La Russa around. Looks like Stan Javier. Or maybe that's Stan Javier. Who was that one? I'm not sure who that is. That's Bob Welch right there. And I said we had Canseco in there. So McGwire, Canseco, Henderson, both Hendersons are on there. You have Tony La Russa. You have three Hall of Famers. Your Dennis Eckersley's on there also, right there. So you have three Hall of Famers. You have your superstars at the time. I was 10 years old when this World Series happened, 1989. The Athletics had swept the Giants in a 4-game series, but it was the earthquake that took center stage in that time. It was a big one. Remember, my sisters, your aunties, were crying, scared. It was a scary time because the aftershocks felt like they went on forever, and the aftershocks were 4 and 5 point, whatever, just on the Richter, just big ones. And it was just a different time in my life. I was 10, my parents were divorcing, going through that, and baseball is the one thing that you always kind of turn back into and just, you watched it. So took your mind off the earthquake. But there it is. So I ended up getting the ball for $150. I think it's a $300 baseball. Like I said, with the right paperwork, we could, go up. High retail would be $500, but you start high, then let the next buyer come down low. So I'm sure I'm teaching you guys that in life. But real cool day. Me and Mom were out there, like I said, had a few drinks and came across this. So I believe the guy that was sold it to me was from Napa. Him and his wife, they were just looking to move all the baseballs. So I believe it found a good home. So that's the story behind this 1989 World Series ball. So yeah, it's a great piece for you guys' collection. All right. So there you go. It's I'm gonna go back in the ball cube. And we'll just put it away in the display case, and we'll move on to the next antique show. So, hope you guys enjoyed that. We do have one more item that I will share with you guys that we got at the same Alameda Antique Fair. And this lady was selling, basically she bought a whole entire storage locker, and she had no emotional attachment to anything. She was just basically getting rid of everything and just giving it away. So we have the Raleigh Fingers signed photos. I picked up quite a few other photos that were signed. Some of the stuff I flipped already on eBay. So, and then when we're walking by, we end up scoring this 1990 World Series chair. This is a game-used chair from the 1990 World Series. The picture back is just Bonds and Eckersley. You guys have seen that. I picked that up from what's his name. That little hatch on the seat would have been, there was a display, a little placard that went on the seat that would basically say what row and what seat this was. And then, my little one poking her head out. So the signatures are Dennis Eckersley, Tony La Russa, Terry Steinbach, and Dave Henderson. So that chair, believe it or not, I ended up looking at one on eBay, the exact same chair, but it was, it had the full plaque on the bottom. It said what row it was from and yada, yada, yada. And it was signed by, I believe, just Tony La Russa, and the guy was asking $399. So I offered him an offer of like $200. Declined, didn't even counter offer or nothing. So I just kind of left it on my watch list. And lo and behold, that 2 weeks later it sold, and I go to the antique show, and I see this, the same exact chair, and I asked the lady, how much do you want for the chair? And she you know what she told me? $20. I bought that World Series chair for $20. So that was just a unbelievable find. You know what I mean? So that chair is worth $300 all day. If you can get more, get more. But $20 is all your dad's into it. So I think I have two great items for $170 right here in front of you guys. The 90 World Series, we got swept. We swept these guys, and then we got swept by the Reds. So, all right, that's it. I'm out until the next one. I got so much stuff. I can make videos for days. But I just wanted to get one out. It's Sunday, so now I got to go take the kids school clothes shopping and do all that. Just kind of a chill night, so I'll be on YouTube all night tonight, just kind of hanging out and going through some cards. So we'll talk to you guys later. Thanks for hanging out with Schmitty. And I'm also closing in on my 250 subs. I think I'm 4 or 5 away from 250. I'll be doing a giveaway once I reach that. So about 4 or 5 people away. And I don't know what I'm going to give away, but it'll be something cool. So, all right, everybody. Talk to you guys later.